Okay, so for this video, I wanted to run through some Podia alternatives. Just a little bit about me. I've been covering this space for about 10 years. I run a blog called thedigitalmerchant.com where I've been testing, using, reviewing all of the course building platforms over the last decade. And so this video is a little bit of a shock because I used to be a huge promoter of Podia, but something changed very recently in their pricing structure that's kind of leaving me looking for other alternatives when I'm looking at building courses in 2025 and beyond. So when you first visit their pricing page, as you can see here, they now have two pricing plans, the mover and the shaker. On the face of it, it doesn't seem like they're terribly uncompetitive with the rest of the field, but I think what's really changed is that they used to be one of the most affordable ways to get started with course building, and now they're not. Now they're kind of priced more premium, and I'm not crazy about that moving forward. So as you can see over here, I went into the Wayback Machine, which you can do by just Google searching Wayback Machine, and looked at the previous version of their pricing structure. And you can see here, they had a really cool pricing structure where you could basically get started for free without paying anything, just a 10% transaction fee. Why I really like this is that you could validate your course idea very quickly, and you really wouldn't lose any money if you failed. If you're selling a lot of courses, it became a very easy upgrade. As you can see here, the first paid plan was $9 a month, and there was 8% fees, and then the mover plan had $39 a month and 5% transaction fees, and then the shaker plan was $89 a month and no fees. I really love this escalation because Podia could really grow with you as you were figuring out your creator structure. And now, if we look at the mover, the shaker plan, they basically cut off the entire bottom rung of their pricing plan, and I just don't really like that. I think it now makes Podia a little bit less approachable. So with these pricing increases, what are some of the alternatives that I'm looking at? One would be Teachable. Teachable might be familiar to some of you. I have a couple courses on Teachable. What I like about their pricing plan is similar to the old Podia pricing plan. They do have that free, completely free module where if you're just trying to figure out how to, if your course is going to fly, that $1 and 10% transaction fee might be a little bit steeper than most transaction fees on premium plans, but it's a great way to validate your course idea. You can get it up, you can have a LMS system, it's all there for you, and as soon as you start making regular sales enough to justify the pricing increase, it just becomes a simple math equation. And so Teachable is probably the number one alternative that I'm recommending right now. They also have some other great built-ins like an affiliate marketing program if you get up to the pro plan, but like Teachable as an early validation exercise, and a couple of the platforms have something similar like that. So Teachable will be one of the alternatives I'm looking at. The other alternative I'm giving close consideration to is LearnWorlds. And for some of you who don't know, LearnWorlds has been around for quite some time. They really have a robust platform for pretty much any type of course building business that you're running. Even having SCORM certified courses for kind of more advanced compliance. But at the very front end, you can see their starter plan is $29 a month and $5 per course sale. So they don't have a transaction fee. What I like about LearnWorlds here is if you have a more premium course, the starter plan is both cheaper and kind of more robust with more features compared to Podia. And the $5 per course sale, if you're charging over $100 or $150, $200 for your course, that effective transaction rate is going to be less than 10%, 10% or less, right? So we can kind of do that analysis. And again, it's a simple math equation. So, if you're kind of in that premium course category, I would recommend starting with LearnWorlds. And then finally, another one that I have long recommended, but I think is a good substitute in this case, would be Thinkific. And you can see they have a fairly attractive pricing plan. Again, the $36 a month is a little bit more. The $49 a month is a little bit more premium than Podia starter plan, but you do get a lot with Thinkific that you don't get with Podia. I think Thinkific is a great solution if you're doing more of a formal kind of course of study. Maybe you're with an organization, or you're really looking for certificates and quizzes. You're not just producing material for learning value alone, you're actually kind of running a mini kind of educational program. So those are like the three main alternatives that I'd recommend: Teachable, Learn Worlds, and Thinkific. And they're like the big three. I do think there are some other interesting course builders and situations where, maybe you'd want to consider something different. One of those would be LearnDash, and LearnDash is basically built on top of WordPress. So if you're super heavy into WordPress already, LearnDash is again only $29 a month, and it might be easier just to tack that onto your existing blog or brand page rather than having to set up a separate LMS. So LearnDash is an interesting one. Kajabi is another one that I've considered in the past. I generally don't like having platforms that are trying to do everything all in one, and I do think they're kind of premium. They promise you everything, but in reality, I don't think any of these platforms that try to do everything do any one thing entirely well. So I wouldn't necessarily go with Kajabi personally, but if you don't have a website and the thought of setting up a website is really overwhelming, I do think Kajabi has probably a better website builder than Podia off the shelf. And then another solution that's kind of new and trendy is School, and they kind of do an interesting job of blending really community and courses. I don't think they have a great course building platform, but they do have a pretty good community building platform. So if community is a big part of your value prop, it's pretty hard to beat, $99 a month for a course and community platform. That's what you should really think about it as. It's like you're getting a Learn World or a Podia, and you're getting a Circle or a Heartbeat community platform all in one. Again, I don't think it's a perfect platform, but there is something to be said for a simple, straightforward